I really apologize for what's going on. I've been here for a few hours now. I've spent 4 hours trying to get some videos uploaded, and I'm having really serious technical difficulties. Right now, I'm trying to see. I, I've got the live channel, I've got the live stream going, but I'm trying to pick up my channel up here so that I can see what's going on and respond to you guys. So we got the live stream going. Everything is good. Um, but I am trying to see if I can load the live stream and get us all on the same page. So here we go. Let's load my channel again. Hopefully my live stream will pick up. There we go. Now I'm good. Now I've got the live stream. I've got this going. I There we go. Okay. I'll close this down. Uh, what I need to pick up is over here. There we go. Now I'm go. Let me get my. What's up, guys? How we doing, Cowboy Crunk? I'm picking up on this on this situation with Des Bryant. I'm a little behind, but I did want to explain why we are having these. I want to explain what's going on from my position on this Des Bryant situation. Uh, we all need to grow up. The thing is, it has nothing to do with Des Bryant. It has nothing to do with Stephen Jones. It has nothing to do with Dak Prescott. It has nothing to do with Sean Lee, which the comments were made against. What it has to do with, guys, is it has to do with. Let me slide this forward. I'm having, as you guys can see, I'm in a different position today. I'm not. I'm in my 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 apartment downtown in Kabul. I'm actually at the Kabul International Airport, and I'll be here for about a week. I have 5 airports I'm in charge of in Afghanistan, so I'm doing some things here, and then I got the fuel mission downtown that I'm in charge of that supplies fuel for like 13 military bases. So that's a different situation. I go on vacation in a week. I plan my vacation to go home and hit preseason. To me, preseason is more important than the regular season because we're gonna find those positions that we're missing. But I spent since 9:30. It's 1:30 a.m. now here. I spent 4 hours recording videos, trying to fix the situation with the internet, and I think I got everything straight now and solid. But what I wanted to do is go over this situation with Des Bryant and see where we are actually, because there's some there's some situations that haven't been explained, I think, by most of our internet gurus. So I wanted to go over the stats. I'm a statistician. That's what I do. I follow stats. I make stats. I evaluate stats, and I want to show you guys that it's not Dez's fault. It's not Sean Lee's fault. It's not Stephen Jones' fault. It's not Tony Romo's fault. It's not Jason Witten's fault. The situation that has been created is due to we have changed. If you look back in the 70s when we won our Super Bowls, what works for Dallas is we had a running game, we had a pretty good quarterback, and Roger Staubach. He didn't have amazing stats. If you look around the league in the 70s, he wasn't leading the league in stats, like Tony Romo was in his days, and leading the league in QBR or second or third or top of the league. Roger Staubach didn't lead the league, and the same thing with Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was a very good quarterback. Troy Aikman responded to the things he needed to respond to. He had 1 year over 20 touchdowns, and he had a running game. He had a running game behind him, and that's what he did. That's what he needed. That's what worked for us. So we're evolving from the 70s to the 90s to the current stage where we are, and this is where we are. We're in a Super Bowl window. We have that we have that possibility, and that possibility has started 2 years ago. So where I want to start with that is I want to show you guys from 2014. I want to show you guys Tony Romo's stats, DeMarco Murray's stats, Dak Prescott's stats, and Des Bryant stats, along with you guys know how efficient and how well-rounded Jason Witten is. His stats are involved in this too as well, but not so much. I mean, so where we're going to start is I'm going to start with DeMarco Murray, and I'm going to show you guys. If you guys can see the screen, I hope you can see it. My other computer, which is not working now for some reason due to the electricity over here, is, if you can see his stats, I want to go through his 2012. We'll start there. He had 663 yards with the Dallas Cowboys. The next year, great progress. He almost doubled that, 1,121 yards. 2014, that is when our team changed. Our team completely changed due to the draft and us picking up those linemen. And where we are now, DeMarco Murray went for, as you guys know, 1,845 yards and pretty much blew the league away. It was a surprise. Nobody knew it was coming. It really changed the Dallas Cowboys' perspective of moving on into the future, and that is when our team changed. You can go back to 2014, and you can evaluate Des Bryant's numbers prior to 2014 and after. You can evaluate Tony Romo's numbers prior to 2014 and after, as well as Jason Witten and other players. So my thing with Des Bryant is not the fact that he fell off or Jason Witten fell off. We went in a different direction. If you look back at Roger Staubach's numbers, he didn't have numbers like Tony Romo had in his early years. Troy Aikman did not ever have numbers like Tony Romo had. Yet both of those guys, Roger Staubach won us basically 2 Super Bowls. Tony Romo won us 3 Super Bowls. And the numbers that Dak Prescott are putting up right now are very similar, and actually more better numbers than both of those guys put up. So we can't take what's going on right now and blame that on Dez, blame that on Jason Witten, or blame it on the receivers. It's a different style. When you change to a running type offense, the clock is running. There's less snaps in a game. That's less snaps for your defense. Your defense is, less wear and tear on the joints, the bones, the muscles. It's like if you took a car and you drove it, 4,000 miles a year, versus you take a car and you're doing a fast-paced offense, passing offense. The clock is stopped. When the clock is stopped on a passing offense, you have a lot more plays per game than you do on a running type offense. The clock is running. You have 100 snaps a game for your offense versus 80 snaps a game when you have a running offense, because the clock's running. And it really saves the wear and tear completely on your whole team. So if you look back at the 90s and the 70s, that's how we won our Super Bowls. So what I wanted to go over, I did this in the previous videos. I want to go over the difference between Tony Romo and the difference between Dak Prescott. Back in, let me switch over real quick to see if I got any. Okay, we're good. I just was checking, guys. Back when, and it's not, okay. I'm about to do this again. You know what? Okay, here we go. Uh, back, back, back when Tony Romo was kind of by himself, he didn't have a running game. There was a lot of things going. What I want to show you is how many pass attempts Tony Romo had to go through per season to get him through not having a running game. That put him in 3rd and 13, 12 and 12 and 6, or second and 12, uh, first and 15s. He had a lot of ridiculous situations where the passing game was highly required. So starting in 2007, uh, he had 512 pass attempts. 2008, 550. Next year, 522. The next year, 548, or excuse me, 648. And the next year, 535. The following year, the first year that we picked up the lineman, we had an aggressive running game, and we went to a running style offense. He had 435 pass attempts the complete year. That's a drop off of about almost 25%, a drop off in pass attempts, because DeMarco Murray ran for 1,800, and let me go back to DeMarco Murray, 1,865 yards, 1,845 yards. Sorry, guys. So Tony Romo was a pass aggressive offense until 2014, when we solidified our line and picked up DeMarco Murray and went with the run style game. And that was the first year that Tony Romo really had a a really Super Bowl bound type. Let's go into the playoffs. We look good. We were predicted to do well, and it was because we went back to the running game. We went to a different style offense. We didn't expect Tony Romo to make every play, every down, every game. So over those years, and I only took the years that he played 15 to 16 games, Tony Romo averaged 555 pass attempts a year. Now I want to switch to after that, and actually 2014, he, up until that point, up into 2014, he had 15 or 16 game seasons. He averaged 555 yards. I'm repeating myself, I understand, but in 2014, when we had a 1,800 yard rusher in DeMarco Murray behind that line, he only passed 435 times. That was actually lower. That was actually a lower passer attempt uh, per season than Dak Prescott has had in both of his two starting years, because DeMarco Murray had 1,800 yards. The thing is, I want to switch over to Dez Bryant real quick and show you what he did in 2014. You gotta check out Dez Bryant's numbers. Dez Bryant's numbers: 2012, 92 catches, 3280, 1,382 yards. 1,382 yards for 2012. 2013, 93 catches. That's the most catches he's ever had in a season, for 1,233 yards. 2014, with Tony Romo there, this is a different style quarterback than Dak Prescott. Completely different. With DeMarco Murray's 1,800 yards and Dez Bryant's uh, 88 catches, he had 1,320 yards, 16 touchdowns, his best season probably by far. So when you look into these numbers, these statistics, you got to evaluate the whole process. What I'm trying to say is the the downfall and the lack of progress in Dez Bryant was not due to just Dak Prescott. A lot of it was due to our offense. A lot of it was due to the progress of our line, the progress of our running game, the progress of the evolution of what we're doing. We're not trying to be that high profile Aaron Rodgers, um, um, Ben Roethlisberger, Tony Romo type offense, and those are like three of the top guys that you can say light the field up on any given day for 3 4 touchdowns or sometimes 3 4 interceptions. It just depends, but we went away from that. We picked up those linemen. Dak Prescott came in. Tony Romo got hurt, and when he got hurt, I can guarantee you, as well as we did with Romo healthy and that line there and DeMarco Murray, when Dak Prescott went in, what he was told was stay safe, look at your slot, go through your reads, look at your tight end, look at the dump to the running back, your safe play. There's no reason to try to get 20 yards per play. Just play it safe, go in there and play good football until Tony Romo comes back. And the thing is, that worked so well because our running game was doing so good that there was no reason to change it. Then when Tony Romo came back and he was healthy, we were doing well. There was no reason, even though they everyone had you know thoughts and aberrations that Tony Romo is going to come in, and if Dak can do this, think what Tony Romo can do. But they were hesitant to make that change. They didn't make the change. We stayed with Dak Prescott. That put Tony Romo on the bench and made an awkward situation. And then the thing is, the next year when we came out and Dak, Des Bryant and uh, Jason Witten are in the huddle and hey, I'm open for this, and hey, look at this, and the season wasn't going well, and Zeke Elliott was on suspension, and you got a young quarterback in his second year, and you got people throwing things at him in the huddle, and he's trying to call the play, go through his pre-snap evaluation, come up to the formation, evaluate the defense, make judgments, make changes, uh, go to options, change things up, and you can't do that when you've got two veteran teammates asking you to change the play. I'm open. Look for me. Do this. Do that. It doesn't work. He was taught to walk up to the line, call the play, walk into the huddle, call the play, walk up, evaluate the defense, call the play. If you need to make a change, make a change. But as a young quarterback, you can't have veterans chirping in your ear to change things and do things. The reason I tried to post a video earlier and it wouldn't post, like I said, it was a video I was looking at for Troy Aikman, and during the Troy Aikman days, as you guys know, when you're coming together in the huddle, the quarterback will step out and allow you know the offense to make changes, bring in a receiver, move a tight end out, bring in two tight ends, bring a running back in, bring in a fullback or whatever. The quarterback will step out of the huddle to allow those things to happen. And when the quarterback steps in, that's when the huddle's official and they count the players. And so that's a big thing that your safety gets to watch because your safety's in the back. He can watch the players coming in. He knows who's going into the huddle and goes, that's a big, big thing that Earl Thomas is by far the best in the league at. So I went to the defense side for a second, but what I want to say is uh, Troy Aikman used to step out of the huddle and guys would step in, and I was looking for a video that I can't find. I've seen it before, but it was Moose Johnson talking about the huddle when Troy Aikman used to step out. And Michael Irvin would be there talking about I'm open and I got single coverage, and the lineman would be talking about Larry Allen would be talking about, hey man, just give the ball to 22, get a ball to 22, let him run it up. The defense is tired. We've been beating them all game. Just give the ball to 22 and let us do this. Let us run them over and let us win the game. And all of that was going on and chatter in the huddle, but they said as soon as Troy Aikman put his foot in there, leaned forward and put his helmet inside that huddle, everything stopped. The only thing that mattered is what Troy Aikman said, what the play was gonna be, what the reaction was on the play, and no one even had an opinion after the play. No one no one made a comment on, well, that play we should have done, or I was open on that, and you didn't look on this side. When Troy Aikman stepped in the huddle, everything was cut off, it shut down, and that was it. And that's what they're talking about with a Dak friendly offense. They're not talking about changing the plays, doing things different. What they're talking about is we got a young quarterback. He's in a very good position. He's got a very good running game. He's got what I feel is a good core of tight ends. They're really well rounded. I don't think anyone stands out other than Rico Gathers stands out as a receiving tight end. But we got a good group of quick, fast receivers. But the main thing is we got that line up there. Our line is completely different. We got a ground and pound H1 H1 Hummer offense that's going to push the defense back, give Ezekiel Elliott the ball, let him run it on first and second down, run some jet sweeps, run some things to throw the defense off, keep guys out of the box, do some wide receiver screens, do some quick slants. It's going to keep the defense off balance. I think our defense is fine. We're going to have no problem there. So my thing with this Dez Bryant situation is it has nothing to do with Dez Bryant, nothing to do with Stephen Jones, Sean Lee. It's the fact that our offense has changed. And you can see it from 2014 when DeMarco Murray, who had never had a great, amazing season, had 1,800 yards. He had two other 1,000-yard seasons, but he never blew the numbers up like he did that season. When he left, the problem was Tony Romo got hurt the next year. We went 3-1 with Tony Romo. When he got hurt, the season was gone. We only lost one more game. We went 4-12. The next season, Tony Romo came back. We started off well in the preseason. Tony Romo got hurt. Dak Prescott was there. He filled in. We did amazing. Why did we do amazing? Because we had a rookie quarterback with a running game, with a balanced offense that kept things going. So I want to move on back to my notes. If you guys check back on the history of the Dallas Cowboys, as a team, we did well in the 70s with a running game, a decent quarterback, a well-rounded offense. In the 90s, we did the same thing. We started off poor with Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. They didn't start off great, but one difference is in that situation and now, they came in together. Michael Irvin wasn't a veteran like Dez Bryant was when Dak came in, and that's a problem. Dez Bryant sees this rookie comes in, the offense changes, and I'm not getting my targets anymore. Where are my targets? And he's pointing the finger at the offense and the offensive coordinator, and we run the same thing, and this isn't working, and we fell off. Dez Bryant needs to realize over the last 2 years, we're the number 2 team actually over the last 4 years, we're the number 3 team in the NFL as far as record goes. And if it wasn't for the 4-12 season, we probably would be the number 2 or the number 1 of the Patriots. We are the number 2 team as far as record goes over the last 4 years. So we got to keep that in mind. Things are going good. Things are going well. We will progress. I apologize for, I made three really good videos earlier, and it's 2 a.m. here. I'm tired. I forgot some of the things I wanted to say. Uh, the thing is, Dez and Witten's numbers have dramatically dropped off. And the reason is not because of Dak. It's not because offensive coordinating the calls. It's not. It's because we went to a running game. We're averaging uh, almost double. We're averaging almost double the amount of yards we were 4 years ago. Um, so you're not going to have with a running game. You're not going to have those prolific numbers in the passing game. You're just not going to have it. Dez numbers are going to drop off. Jason Witten's numbers are going to drop off. Cole Beasley's numbers are going to drop off. Terrence Woods. When you're running the ball, your numbers are going to drop off. It has nothing to do with Dez. Dez, he's going to get picked up as long as he's picked up by a team with a good quarterback. His numbers are going to shoot back up. I mean, there's no way they won't. He has too much talent. So again, guys, I made this video 4 hours ago. I'm extremely tired. I apologize for the delays. I apologize for not getting all the numbers out. Uh, I had some videos I wanted to show you guys in conjunction with this, but my Wi-Fi is not working well. Uh, but like I said, we've got to continue the ground game. The ground and pound is what works for us. Um, and the more we ground and pound, the faster the clock runs. We keep our defense off the team, off the field. And the more we keep our defense off the field, instead of them taking 100 snaps a game, they take 75 or 80 snaps a game. That saves you, 20% of your defensive wear and tear. So your tires are going to last longer. You're going to recover earlier in the week. You're going to have a better practice in the week because your defense is not tired. So all of these things we're going to, it makes sense. You can't have Dez and Witten come into the huddle and trying to influence a second year quarterback when he's trying to go through his progressions, when he's trying to, uh, you know, go through his progressions, look at the uh, the dump to Ezekiel Elliott, and if that's not there, throw it away. And that's what he does. He's not an outside the hash. He's not a prolific uh, Porsche type. I call them Porsche receivers because they're quick or big or the fancy receivers. He's not a. If you brought Julio Jones to the Dallas Cowboys, his numbers would drop. If you brought Antonio Brown to the Dallas Cowboys, his numbers would drop. That's not what we do. We're a different style team, and we're doing well because of it. So that's my feeling on it, guys. We need to grow up. Sean Lee needs to understand that Dez is upset. He has a tremendous reason to be upset, and his reason to be upset is he's a passionate cowboy and he's not a cowboy anymore. It makes sense that he's not a cowboy anymore, but it's just we went in a different direction. We don't need a Des Bryant. We don't need him. We need a really good tight end. We need two good slot receivers. We need a great running back, and we need backup linemen. We need backup defensive linemen. We need a great safety and a solid core of linebackers. That's what we need. Des Bryant does us no good if Dak is not comfortable throwing the ball out there, and at this point he's not, and he doesn't have to throw the ball out there. We have enough offense up the middle of the field, the safety part. We stay safe and let Dak Prescott take care of this team, and that's what they mean by Dak friendly. It doesn't mean uh, a bunch of changes. What it means is let Dak do what he's good at because he's not good at getting Dez the ball. He's good at, even if we had Julio Jones, getting Julio Jones the ball or Antonio Brown. He's good at getting Cole Beasley the ball, a good tight end, and handing the ball out off to Ezekiel Elliott and doing a option read. That's what he's good at. Throwing the ball outside, deep targets is not his, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's not his forte, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think we're good. I think we have no problem progressing. I think we have no problem going deep into the playoffs. I hope that happens because that can really bring our defense to the next level. So I appreciate the time, guys. Please go back and watch the video. Please subscribe. Please, like I said, this is Cowboy Crunk coming to you live from Kabul. Um, in a war zone. War starts in 2 weeks. The Hall of Fame game is in like 3 or 4 days. I hope you guys enjoy that. Enjoy the football. Enjoy all the season. Enjoy all the teams, but especially root for our Cowboys. And we'll see you guys on the next video.